I tell you this podcast thing is really, it's really pushing my buttons. Welcome to the Dandemonium podcast. This podcast is really pushing my buttons. You know what really grinds my gears? It's when I drop down about 20 minutes of video audio and it didn't record. Okay, why the fuck is that? Like, I could have a whole checklist. I could go run down these things. The way that I'm doing this stuff is on my iPhone, record the video. I got the mics hooked up. It's all linked up to the computer interface, all that good shit, right? Sometimes I forget. It's been 2 weeks since I dropped the fucking podcast last time. I was doing some stupid YouTube short jokes, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but this is a new episode of the Dandemonium podcast. Excuse me if I seem a little irritated right now, because I am. Because I already did this, okay? So now it feels like it's a little bit scripted. Now I feel like Alec Baldwin, only nobody's going to get shot. You know? Only he's a better actor than me, but he's still a murderer, okay? Anyways, I wrote down some notes. I got some things here. And this week's episode was kind of a bye week. I do apologize. Happy belated St. Patrick's Day. And this episode will be talking about social media, different types of content creators and the likes. And I say that because, and the happy belated St. Patrick's Day is because that is an effect of social media, or at least I saw it to be an effect of social media. Like, everybody doesn't change their fucking profile picture on the same day. Like, you got like 50 new fucking profile pictures, like, happy St. Patrick's Day, hey! You fucking what? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? But it's like one person, and this is a hive mind of like social media. Right? Is that like, let's say like, and this happens with language. This happens with different putting profile image borders to shit, Ukraine flags, all this fucking whatever the case might be. Right? But you see one person change on St. Patrick's Day, changing their profile picture, and then you got another person, and it's like, somebody's out there saying, oh shit, I just saw that 2 people change their profile picture. I want to say happy St. Patrick's Day too. And I want to get likes on my picture. Okay, and we're going to get into this a little bit later too, as far as the aspects of social media and the narcissism. Okay, again, I've already said this shit. Okay, it just wasn't recorded. Am I recording? Looks like the mic is hooked up. I'm getting volume lines. I got time going. Everything's recording. Thank God. Thank your lucky goddamn stars. Otherwise, I'd be like, you know what? That was twice in one day. Because this isn't the first time that this shit happened. Okay, but twice in one day, that has not happened. Okay, so I would be like, nope, that's it. Nobody gets a podcast. You're all fucked. Anyways, where the hell was I before I got off in that tangent? So back at it. It's been a few weeks. Everything's hooked up. That's really great. We're talking about social media. Yeah, I'm just really glad that you're joining me here on the Dandemonium podcast. I do really appreciate it. Thank you for your listens. All right, so as far as the different platforms, different content creators and whatnot, I did write down a few notes here because social media has affected my brain to the extent where it's not like TikTok, because I'm not a TikTok user. I don't see those 9-second videos, pow, 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 or short little dopamine hits that you might get. But I feel like there is a little bit of addiction. There's narcissism. There's different types of content creators, and there's a lot of different platforms that do different things. And these platforms somewhat dictate the way that people create their content and what they do and how they're influenced by these these algorithms, these numbers, being I hate to call myself a content creator, right? But I am creating content. I like to think that my shit is a little bit more original because I try not to talk about everything that everybody and their fucking mama's talking about. All right. And I try to bring a funny aspect to it and my own personal views. And that's one of the things that's great about this podcast. You don't come here for information. You don't come here for facts. Fact check me if you want, whatever. If there's something that a lot of times I misspeak, I'll listen back. I'd be like, I fucked up there. I fucked up there. Okay. I try to work on it and I'm a human and shit happens. And I forget my thoughts, and social media has affected me in that such manner. So I had to write some stuff down, and I would say, let's just get into it, because I don't remember, like, I had a great 20 minutes going, and now this shit, it's down the fucking tubes. I go to stop the recording, I take a pause, there was emotion, there was fucking, you know, everybody, every content creator, if you will, has, especially a podcaster, right? You have a podcast where you shed a few tears for one reason or another. Could be a very emotional topic, and I'm going to try to bring that up later on. It might not have the same effect, but I really got fucking moved by this and repeating the experience and what I saw on this particular social platform, and it was real. It was fucking real, and now I have to do this shit again. God damn it. I'm not going to be pissed off the whole time, okay? I just wanted to get that out there. I just wanted to clear the room, clear my thoughts, get back into the mode, and try and drop this thing again. All right, so as far as the notes that I wrote down, and the different kind of creators that are out there. And these creators fall within the within the range of several different of these social media platforms that I'm going to cover today. And all of this is my opinion. Okay, it's an opinion with a comedic factor to it that I try to bring my own perspective and how I view some of these interactions that happen within these platforms that I use. And I will not speak on the platforms that I don't use. Okay? Okay! Jesus Christ. All right, let's drop this thing again and get into it. I'm feeling it just as much as I was, but it's been 2 weeks. And I just spent 20 minutes dropping down shit. I was in it, man. What do the cool kids say now? I was there for it, man. Is that what the cool kids say? I was there for it, you know? And a lot of these social media platforms, again, just to reiterate my point on these social medias, it affects the way people speak, the language that's used, the different terms, and the way that people interact. And you get these little dopamine hits. Pow, 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 pow. This little social media is everybody's best friend nowadays. You know, and that's a little sad. That's a little sad. We used to have society and community. And we got these little fucking computer screens that we glue our eyes to on a fucking daily. Due to those, because we get those little dopamine hits. Pow, pow, pow. We get those dopamine hits. We like to ride those fucking gravy train of narcissism. That's probably one thing that I will do better than the other 20 minutes that I just recorded is I kept on fucking up the word narcissism. I kept on saying narcissism. But it's narcissism. So I think I will do better this time around, and I hope I do. So without further ado, please forgive me for that very abrupt introduction, getting two weeks back into it. Now, I hope you enjoyed the little short jokes that I was trying on YouTube, and we'll get into that also a little bit later. Did I already mention that? I don't know. I'm dropping this podcast for the second time. I feel like I'm in a simulation, just repeating the fucking steps. Anyways, I think this is episode 54. Why did I bring that up? Who gives a fuck? Nobody cares. Anyways, so I'm going to read off this sheet so forgive me for not having eye contact with you because it's social media has affected my brain and such where I can't remember stuff for a long period of time and I just write these things down, but there's a lot of different types of creators out there. And again, between several different platforms. You have the influencer, the trolls, the grifters, the thieves, which I consider to be reaction videos, the YouTubers, the podcasters, the TikTokers, the sluts, the bros, the pranksters, the gamers, the gangstas, the comedians, the dancers, the magas, the wokesters, the shit posters, the foodies, the fitness freaks, the strictly business, the bots, the twats, and the flocks, okay? That's a lot of different creators out there, and whether you just use a social media platform for your own personal experience and your own personal use, you are still creating content for other people to consume. It shows up on all your other friends' feeds. Everybody these days is a content creator. I don't give a fuck what you do. You are creating content, quite possibly for quick tangent, for the AI to learn and evolve off of and eventually take us out. But that's a whole other podcast. Okay, so you got all these content creators, including yourself. I don't care if you use Facebook. That would be the first platform I want to talk about, Facebook. Okay? There's a lot of people that used to be like, oh, well, I use Facebook just to connect with my family. It's like, yeah, well, I don't. I just use it for a lot of some of these other things here. But it's like, that's just an excuse, right? I know, I see what you post, and I'm not trying to call anybody out within all these things. I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't give a fuck what you post. I don't give a fuck what you feel. I might like a post if something I find interesting, but that's how we all interact with the media platforms. We all have our right to express ourselves in whatever way we deem what we want to do. I had a Joe Biden moment. My apologies. So, yeah, you could say like, oh, I'm on here just to connect with my family, but I see the stuff you post. You're not, and rightfully so. I like seeing your posts. Everybody's friend. If I don't delete you, I enjoy seeing your posts. And if I don't see your posts, it's probably because you got rid of me. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But all it is dopamine hits, right? And that can kind of affect the way that people use all these different platforms. Now, right now, we're specifically talking about Facebook, right? And let me bring back the point about narcissism. And by the way, if you want to look into some information on the way that social media platforms actually affects children, and these are studies that are going on. This is a psychologist and also author, Jonathan Haidt, H-A-I-D-T, and he has several books. There's one specifically, he's been on the Joe Rogan podcast, so you could go to Spotify, look up Joe Rogan and Jonathan Haidt, H-A-I-D-T, and you will find some very, very good information. It's easy to listen to. They're probably 2 to 3 hours long. He brings receipts, graphs, studies, and statistics on these things that are happening within the psyche of particularly, I think, our younger generation. So it's not something that should be overlooked, and I think we just overlook it. We use it on a daily basis. We all use these platforms, right? None of us are immune because it's integrated in basically every part of our lives. And you only subscribe to the amount of information that you subscribe to. So you have control essentially over that. You have control essentially over not going on these platforms. You have control over, you don't really have control over what you see because there's a part of the social media platform algorithm kind of takes hold of that and shows you stuff. And this could be stuff where it's almost subconsciously, where it's like shows you stuff, but it'll try and steer you into certain avenues where it's like, okay, well, if you're interested in learning about dog training, okay, and then there's a lot of people that also are interested in dog training, but these people also tend to click. There's a high percentage of these people that are like and click and watch dog training videos also click on pole dancing videos. So So we want to show you this pole dancing video, and then hey, you're gonna see it in your algorithm one day and be like, what the fuck is this? It's gonna catch your eye, and maybe it's like, well, I'm not gonna click on it now, perhaps, but maybe later, or you just click on it and you're like, holy shit, how did this shit show up in my feed? That's the algorithm taking hold of what it decides to show you based off numbers, values. There's so much collected information. It's goddamn ridiculous. There's so many factions and different factors of social media that I find it very interesting, not just from the psyche aspect to it, but what these different platforms bring to their content, how people interact with these different platforms. Like, okay, that's Facebook, right? And here's I think Facebook is essentially it's a calmer website. It's a calmer social media, but it's also more of a narcissistic social media aspect. And we all use it. I use it too, okay? I recognize these things. I'm so fucking goofy on it. People are probably like, this guy needs help. All right? That's probably what half the people think that are friends on my social or Facebook social media. It's like, this guy needs some help. But hey, I'm here for it, okay? I'm all here for it. I put myself out there, and I understand that people aren't going to receive these messages the same way that I think about them, because I think about things in a unique way, and that's the only thing that kind of keeps me creating some of this content here on this podcast. So I'm part of the podcaster. I'm a content creator. And I don't know what the fuck I am. I'd like to consider myself a comedian, but I don't think I'm as funny as I think I am. I'm funniest to myself, I guess. But it's like, this is part of the narcissism on Facebook. And it'd be like, we all have these friends. I'm not trying to call anybody out, but we all have these friends where it's like, hey, it's my birthday next week. Or it's like, hey, did you guys know it's my birthday month? And this was a whole joke that I wrote down and revised and all that. It's like, bitch, we'll call her Becky, but we're like, bitch, you didn't create this day. Okay, this planet has been revolving around this sun for billions of years. Okay, you didn't create this day. You share the same birthday with possibly millions of other people. Okay, and I understand it was the day you took your first breath out of the womb, but your birthday is maybe the day that you were conceived. How about that? Cash me outside. How about that? Huh? What? A little bit of... How about every day that you wake up is like a new birthday? Like, you woke up today. Good for you. We should treat every day like it's a birthday. So you're one more revolution around the sun, after the day that you were labored out of the vagina is, okay, to be celebrated, I guess, depending on how you think about it. I find birthdays to be kind of funny, and personally, just in my own opinion now, is a little narcissistic just to be like, hey, it's my birthday, right? So you got the Facebook social media where it's like, Becky has a birthday. Hey, it's Becky's birthday today. Everybody say happy birthday to Becky. You know what? She started up a goddamn... Look at this girl. Look at this queen, right? She started up a goddamn fundraiser with Blue Cross and Blue Shield, or to help the homeless animals, okay? And she's only asking for $200. Not only is it her birthday, but she started a fundraiser. Good for you, Becky. Fuck yeah. And the way that people hide some of their own narcissism is to just like positively throw out some of those dopamine hits and lift other people up. Pow, 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 pow. So Jackie on the Facebook page says, happy birthday, beautiful Beckers, besties. And Becky's reply, Jackie's throwing out that dopamine hit, right? So Becky's got to return with that dopamine hit. Pow, pow, pow. I love you too, baby. So Becky's reply is like, thanks, sexy mama. Let's party sometime in about 10 years. I miss you, girl. Pow, just throwing out those dopamine. I don't care if it's 10 years from now, okay? Becky and Jackie at some point will get together, and possibly through the means of Facebook. And then Jackie replies, she's got to return with more dopamine hits. Pow, pow, pow. Just throwing them out. Damn, girl, I have something planned 10 years from now, but I miss you too, you little love cake. Pow, pow, you little sweetness, you little cupcake. I don't know what the fuck, by now it's like get a fucking room. But I appreciate the fact that people lift other people up and they're throwing out these dopamine hits. You can kind of say all right, and correct me if I'm wrong. If you think otherwise, comment below. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. But I also think there's a small part of that is a personal narcissistic aspect of it where it's like you're getting positive feedback. You're getting a like on that comment. And also, everybody's just throwing out these fucking dopamine hits willy-nilly. Pow, pow, pow. Just throwing these bitches out like fucking people have so many of them, right? And then we get addicted to them. Not only are we narcissistic, but now we're addicted to the narcissism because it makes us feel good. It hits us in our heart hole. Just collecting and receiving all these little dopamine hits all day. I had another part of the joke, which I was just not going to do, but either end up with thrower's elbow, pow, from throwing out the hits, or you need a baseball mitt just to catch all these dopamine hits because after a while it feels so good, your heart starts hurting. It's so overwhelming. So that's social media. Well, we're talking about Facebook, but I got, I'll maybe make that last part of that joke later. I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast so far. I feel like it's going good, maybe even better the second time around after dropping 20 minutes already. It's a Sunday evening. I don't know when I'm going to put this out. I'm hoping by Wednesday, but if you're watching it, that means, hey, I woke up a few days from now, potentially today, tomorrow, the next day, and that's a birthday. Be sure to say happy birthday to Beckers, besties, you fucking beautiful bitch. Where am I? Okay, so, and then Facebook, so it's like you don't just use it for your family. You're getting these, like, it's just for dopamine hits. It's kind of, I don't know, the average likes that I get on any post is from 0 to like 2. So if I get 3, sometimes I get 4. I've been making some bomb-ass home chef food lately, and sometimes I get like 8, and I'm like, that feels good. So the addictive part of the nature of the social media is like, and I don't think like this. I might get into a group. I'm just proud of the meals that I'm making, and I understand other people are proud of the meals that they're making. Right? Other people are proud of the dances they come up with. You know what I mean? Other people are proud of other things too. And for their own good reason. And that's all good. I just want to emphasize that's amazing. That is what makes life. It's what makes us different. It's what kind of different. There's a homogenized aspect of it. And that's created through social media as well. We used to be a lot more different. Okay? Anyways, I don't want to get off into too much of a tangent here because I feel that's the direction that it's going. But so let me end with that as far as Facebook, all that good stuff. I don't know. Like I said, it's ultimately more of the calmer social media platforms that I have personally used, and maybe you could say the same thing for Instagram. But I don't use Instagram. I don't use Snapchat. I don't use LinkedIn. I don't use Truth Social. And I don't use Minds. Okay? M-I-N-D-S. But Minds is a social platform that is on the blockchain. Everything is transparent. That could be a potential direction for social media and different, like voting. If we put voting on a blockchain, they say that I don't know. I don't know. There's always potential for hacks anytime you're dealing with technology. Again, short tangent, but Facebook is ultimately the more calmer social media platforms that I have found where people just get caught up in their own little social bubble. And like, if that's the only platform that you use, and then you're like, hey, I see a lot of like, hey, my kids, had their recital. There was a little talent show the other day. It's like people are proud of their kids and they're like posting the kids stuff. It is a little bit more family oriented, I guess. A lot of the elder generations, the grandmas and grandpas out there, do stay connected, and aunts and uncles and whatnot do stay connected, and that is a good way to connect and share photos and experiences if you can't happen to be there, whatever the case might be. So it's more calmer. I hate all the sponsored ads that I see on Facebook, but what are you going to do? When there's a free product out there that you are using, you download the free Facebook app and you're using it at all hours of the day. It's collecting your information while you use it and don't use it and who knows whatever the fuck else. Just watching it take a poopies. But it's free. You just download it, you use it, it's free, so you are the product. Just recognize that, and hey, if you're good with that, then you're good with that. There's a few other platforms out there like Twitter, okay? There's a lot more high-profile public figures, if you will, on Twitter. You got a lot different range and perspective. I have not been on there very long. I was on there to kind of promote my own thing, my own channel. YouTube, Dandemonium Podcast. Like, share, subscribe, comment below if you think that I am wrong, right, or say hallelujah. Give a shout out to Jesus or something like that. But Twitter, that is a whole other animal. There's a lot of different platforms. And so Facebook has like things, just text that you can post. Some people there's no limit to text like there is Twitter. So some people like to post their whole medical history and their life experience in the past, 3 hours, which is controversy with the neighbor, whatever the case might be. You can post some short videos, especially if they're linked to YouTube. So you could share different video content or just post like a 1-minute video that you took directly on Facebook. You can share memes. You can do a lot of different things. Twitter, you could share memes. You can post YouTube. It's basically the same thing as Facebook, but there's different aspects to it. Like you get a blue check mark, okay, and you got to pay $8.99 or whatever it is now to Elon Musk, which is great. I'm happy that Elon Musk has taken over the platform and he's letting things go. But there's also a dark. It's not really a dark aspect to it because I haven't seen any dark things on Twitter. I'm signed up to about 30 different accounts. Most of them are kind of political based and also like artists and things like that. But and then you can search 2 different feeds. Blah, blah, blah. Some of you are familiar with Twitter. I feel like this is getting boring. So Twitter is a shit show. Okay, bottom line, Twitter is a shit show. If you want to feel upset about where this country is going, or it's even broader than that, it's like worldwide. So you got protests in Paris, I'm seeing videos, you got students starting fights with their teachers on a daily basis. You got kids, black and white children in high school or even grade school sometimes, getting mobbed by a group of people. Harassed, mobbed, bullied. It's fucking sad. If you want to feel bad about the direction of this country, go on Twitter for 10 minutes. I say 5 minutes. Go on Twitter for 1 minute, because I held up one finger, but I meant 5 minutes. It's depressing. And again, I don't know if I said this before in my last recording or this one, but we're only exposed to as much as we sign ourselves up for. And I can only take that site for a very, very, very short amount of time because it's dystopian. A lot of these things are coming out from California. And within the last episode, I actually shed a tear. I'm kind of glad that it wasn't recorded because I would have fucking posted it. But every podcaster needs to have a podcast where you shed a tear for one reason or another. And it's honestly like I could still see the video in my head, and it's that profound. And have that kind of experience, or that kind of Jesus, what do I? It had that kind of impact on me. It's so disturbing, some of the stuff on Twitter. So aside from all these fights in schools, kids getting bullied, beat up, there's constantly fights going on, racial divide, fucking all these things. And I want you to know, I believe 100% that the racial divide, that any racial divide that we have in this country is propaganded and exploited and created by the media. Please understand that. And YouTube might not like what the fuck I'm saying. I don't give a fuck if I get strikes. I'll go on Rumble 100%. I don't give a fuck. I'm not holding back. I'm not letting social media dictate the kind of content and let me self-censor. I was going to say, follow up with censor myself. It's the same thing. I'm not going to censor myself based off of, just to be like, we got to fucking skate on these thin lines. I don't want harm to anybody. I think people should have their own views and their own rights. I feel it very fucking sad that the media propagates this narrative on racial divide that I won't say that we don't have. I won't ignore the fact that there is and can be and potentially racial divide. I don't think it's a prominent thing that has to be addressed and taken care of. I think now it has to be potentially because the media has exacerbated this fucking fact and this idea of racial divide for so fucking long when we were locked in since for several years at minimum, longer than that, but at minimum. And we're not going to get into back history. Yeah, back in 1854, this or that. Listen. I'm not here to argue the facts of history. I'm not here to ignore it. I'm not here to discredit any facts accordingly. But there's a lot of racial stuff, and these are younger generations. These are kids that are exposed from at a very, very young age on iPads and iPhones. And I'm not I'm not canceling out the Samsungs and all these other different brands, but it's the technology, it's the reach, the extensive amount of information that we have access to. Everybody has a fucking voice on social media. Everybody. You could be the dumbest motherfucker, but you are not only allowed to be on social media, and you should have a voice, okay? Speak your dumbass fucking mind, all right? We all fucking do it. We're all dumbasses. We all pretend, and it also creates the false expert on all the items, on anything. So unless you are out there legitimately, you got the things that you hear, that you sign up for, that you expose yourself to, and then you also then pretend like you're an expert. I'm not talking about anybody Pacific. But everybody has a voice, so everybody's a fucking expert because I saw this, okay, and this, that, and the other thing. I don't know. I'm very distraught about especially going on Twitter and being exposed to that for a very short amount of time. This is the thing and the story that I got a little choked up about. It was in a lot of these instances, robberies, theft. People are going into Walgreens with garbage bags, maybe 3-4 people at a time, and just scooping shelves of items. And a lot of times they go for beauty items, right? You're going for beauty items. So if this isn't just for monetary gain, but hey, if that's how you want to run your state, and be like, well, we're not gonna arrest anybody with under $900. You think they're like 30, 60, 90? No, they're just scooping bags off the shelves. Businesses are being closed down. There's a extreme theft problem. At least this is what Twitter would like you to think. And I believe it to be true because even if it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, we're seeing more and more of all these instances. The fights in schools, the bullying, the racial divide, the theft, the shooting. This is the story that I got choked up about on my last recording, and I actually had to stop. So if I get a little choked up, I'm trying to just keep my composure and keep on going. But it was one of the most disturbing videos that I have seen, I'd say almost ever in my life. And this is a robbery. I don't know if it was a robbery. I don't know what the motive is for the perp that decided to commit this crime. But it is devastating. It's so disappointing. It's the fact that we're seeing more and more of this is the most disturbing part about it. Okay, while we are in our Facebook little social media bubble and everything is hunky-dory, I don't think everybody should expose themselves to all the different things that are going on because that is also unhealthy, very unhealthy. So, but it shouldn't be unacknowledged. It shouldn't be not acknowledged. The fact of the craziness, the clown world, the mindset that these specifically younger generation that are going through. Look up Jonathan Haidt. I fucking tell you. If there was one thing, look up Joe Rogan, Jonathan Haidt. There might be a few different podcasts. Look at the farthest one back, which I think deals with social media, and then I think he had a follow-up or he came back later. So this story, I don't know if you've seen this video or not, but if you have, maybe you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. But it was like a convenience store or gas station. It was like an L. So the video was like in the corner of the L, and there was like a room in the back. There's like a counter. There's a guy right here. There's another counter. There's stuff and product along the wall, which is, I think, behind the counter. I don't think it's a place for customers to be in. But anyways, so a guy right here, and there's a guy that decides to rob the store and or commit crime. I don't know what his mindset is. This is one heartless human being, okay? So the camera's in the corner. You got a top view kind of the attendant. I'll call it the worker, employee, attendant, and you got the other person with a shotgun right here, also behind the L-shaped corner. There's like a entrance right in the center of that, the two L's, boom. Not only that, you have the employee, his little son, maybe about 9 years old or so, 9, 10 years old, I don't know, in the room, just maybe 20 feet away. There's a door. The door's half open. You could see the kid. Got the employee. You got the guy that's committing the crime. Call him the criminal. He's got a shotgun. You can't really hear what's going on. All you see is him lift the shotgun. Boom! Takes out, blasts the employee, the father, which I'm getting choked up again. It was devastating. Devastating. Which is now lying on the ground. You got the kid that's in the little office room, no more than 20 feet away. Circles around or something. He's freaking out. Loud noise. Freaking out. Runs past his probably dead father Runs right past him, doesn't know what to do. Past the counter, gets out of the building. Thank God. This heartless motherfucker thinks nothing of it. He's there for, like, free snacks, apparently. I think he actually sets down the shotgun, maybe leans it against the wall. I think he kind of puts it down because then he turns around and he's looking at the product, the snacks on the wall. Oh, what am I... You're gonna fucking take somebody's life for a Snickers bar, dude? Granted, they'd probably have Snickers in the aisle, but you get my fucking point. There's a lot more robberies taking place. There's other videos where people, it could be an open carry state or even a concealed carry state where they are legitimately have a firearm. The good guy taking out the bad guy. There's store clerk owners that are shooting down people that are threatening and coming in with guns ready to rob the place. But these people are ready for it and they take down the criminal. It's so sad. Go on Twitter for 5 fucking minutes. And then it's also part of the, like, grifter scene. And the you know, you got people that are just, like, out there trying to... It's just stupid. It's just so stupid. People, a prominent figure... will write out a one-sentence tweet, and this is like there's no particular controversy going on between gender. Actually, it is a continual thing. There's the drag show, kid-friendly drag shows on Twitter. There was this, I think, 13-year-old trans girl, which is the boy. I don't know. I get confused on this shit. But it's like, where are these people's parents? I know I'm getting old. All right. I know that things are changing. But you know, there's certain things, and there's certain things where it's like, all right, this is beyond. This is indoctrination. This is persuasion, and just not right for young kids. Like the developing mind, the growing. Social media isn't, the electronics isn't. I'm so thankful. I had a pager up until I was like 18, I think. I didn't even have a decent work. I had a BlackBerry kind of phone. And then that went into the smartphones and all that stuff. But I'm thankful. I'm so fucking thankful. I didn't grow up in a time where that was in front of my face all the time because, yeah, I'd have anxiety. Yeah, I'd be fucking weird as shit. How can you not expect to be these? Just control that shit. If you're a parent and you do not have any moderation on what your younger children are consuming as far as the tech that they're holding, then you might want to take a look. I'm just saying. You know, there's so many like good shows, so many, I don't know. I'm not just going to keep going on and on. I think that's pretty much it and good for the second time of recording this episode with the Dandemonium podcast. So I looked up on one last thing. I looked up on the Google there. I was like, what is the definition of social media? And then Google replied, mostly narcissism. Just kidding. I fucked up the actual joke. It's like, the whole joke was supposed to be the definition of social media was that social media is now a verb. Did you tweet today? Did you Did you Facebook today? You know, it's an actual verb, but the definition was mostly narcissism, and oddly enough, that is not a verb. Okay, thank you, whatever. I ruined the joke. Peace. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Thank you for tuning in. be safe, like, share, subscribe, but more importantly than that, just take care of yourselves, take care of your mindset, take care of your kids, take care of your families. Be prepared for odd fuckery, whether it's from the government, other people, be alert. Be at a gas station. Pay attention to who's actually around you, because you never fucking know. And that's a scary time to live. It's said to be, some of the best times that we're living in, with the access to this technology and information, and the different resources, and how far we've come with automation, and that has allowed us to advance, no doubt. But in the same respect, it's like the simpler, the better, And I don't know. Unless there's a great catastrophe, I don't think there's any turning back. So the only projection is forward motion, unless something cataclysmic really sets us back, where wipes out our technology, and then everybody's going to be fucking lost. One of the social medias I didn't talk about is Vine. I didn't talk about TikTok either. God damn it. Do you want to hear about TikTok? Yeah? Let me take a break, and I'll be back, because I'm going to talk about the short form, short attention span, how it's affecting our brains and our psyche when we come back here. I'm taking a quick break. All right, I had my little dopamine hit cigarette toe, you know what I mean? But, so getting to the final points, I've realized I've been rambling on here for about 40 minutes or so, and just talking about like TikTok, okay, and I was going to say the increased short attention span, but that doesn't make sense. Is that a double negative? It would be the decrease in attention span, perhaps, that I would like to elaborate on. And I personally do not use TikTok. I don't have the app. I have never downloaded the program. I don't want any part of it. And it's not just TikTok that has contributed to the shortest attention span, but also YouTube, as well as Facebook, and mainly those three, I would say. Facebook with the Reels, YouTube with the Shorts, and then TikTok, of course, just being TikTok. There's controversy between the use of American citizens using an app that is, it's a Chinese app, so it's definitely controlled by the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, and to what extent of the information is collected and distributed and or used, or, everything, anything that you can imagine, okay? If you or your child or anybody has this app downloaded, it's all susceptible to the breach of information, the collecting of information, the use of, who knows, cameras, microphones on your phone, device, whatever is downloaded on the app. I have no fucking idea. Some of the controversy and the points, legitimate points that are being made, is the effect psychologically on the short attention span, being especially TikTok with the 9-second videos. Pow, pow, pow. You get those dopamine hits. Before you know it, you got 10 minutes. You've watched how many? So if there's 10-second videos, you watch 6 videos in 1 minute. All right, you're on there for 5 minutes. Now you're at 30 in 5 minutes. You're on there for 10 minutes. You've just watched yourself 60 fucking videos. I got an itch in my ear. Sorry. Fucking goddamn it. And then, so in the past 2 weeks, so I haven't really put out an extensive podcast, but I don't want the short attention span to depict the kind of, or social media, whether you have restrictions on the things you can and cannot say. I'm not promoting harm on anybody. I'm not promoting violence. I'm not doing anything other than speaking my own personal mindset, and that should be a First Amendment right. All right, being that we live in America, there should be a First Amendment right. So if there's a social media platform that wants to I'm not monetized, so I can't be demonetized. So that's part of the best part about it. I love the fact that I have like no audience because I could say whatever the fuck I want and not have to worry about any of that backlash. Again, not that I think I'm terrible or anything. And I hope you don't either, but I hope you can understand just and appreciate and just to like laugh at the mindset, the way that I personally view things. And that's it. You're not here for facts, people. But that short attention span, so it's like you're watching so many videos and there's like a lot of, like, who knows what the fuck the algorithm is feeding you. And it said that the Chinese algorithm is different than the American version of their TikTok and the platform as far as the algorithm. So this is like, you got a 9-second video, right? You got a lot of dancers, you got a lot of influencers, perhaps. You got a lot of thieves. And that would be the reaction videos, which I hate. Number one, my hatred are the reaction videos. Real briefly, not to get into too much of a tangent, these are people that take other people's content, and it's probably a longer form of the content, and it could be TikTok, could be a shorts video, whatever. But then they take this content and they use that as their own. And it's a split screen. Okay, number one, you'll see one person just on the one side, just like looking at their screen, watching the video. This is idiocracy, like number one. And some of the content that comes across is good. You're at least exposed to it, but it doesn't give the original creator any credit for it. Because you are then stealing the video and creating your own content and just watching the video, laughing, who knows, making your own commentary outside of that. And it's like, oh, that bitch just said that. Can you believe that? I don't know. It's just so fucking stupid. We are in idiocracy. We are in the short attention span. We are in the, it's affected me. So within, I think what I, see, I think I started to tell you that I haven't podcasted in a long form, and then I went into this tangent about not media not dictating the things that I put out and how I put them out, because my whole point of this, and I don't want it to be influenced or directed on any dictated, we'll say, by any social media or any dopamine hits, pow, 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 that I might receive. I put out some of the shorts in the past 2 weeks. One of them, it hit like 1,000, within 4 or 5 hours, it hit 1,000 views on it. And it's a YouTube Shorts joke. And I think it was maybe like 9 seconds long. And it's like, that's what they promote. That's what they feed. If you have something that's 20 seconds long, it's not going to, there's algorithms for this shit. There's behind the scenes actions that are going on that we have no idea. No idea of what's going on, okay? So I want you to vote for me. Just kidding. It's crazy. It's crazy. So although that gave me those dopamine hits and it was like, boom, I felt that. I was like, boom, feeling good. I think that was a Saturday evening. I cracked another beer. I was like, fuck yeah, let's party. And yeah, I was paying for the next 2 days. I'm old, people. So if I get even slightly hungover, it takes me like 2 days to recover. But anyways, I was getting those dopamine hits. I was like, oh, maybe I should do more shorts. And then, you know, the more that I thought about it, the more I'm like, no, I'm not going to appease the short attention span and what's going on in America. I don't agree with it. And I talk about it, and I'm going to contribute to that. I'm still going to put out short jokes every now and then, but that's not going to be my primary function of the content that I create. God damn, I hate that term. And I'm not a fucking influencer. Okay, I do post on YouTube, so call me a YouTuber. All right, but don't call me late for dinner. Anyway, I hope that you all enjoyed these little rants that I did here on the Danzimoniums. Just kidding. I hope you enjoyed the rant that I had on the Danimonium podcast. Like, share, subscribe. I am going to keep on doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep on doing what I want to do. All right, I'm going to make fun of people. Okay? I'm going to make fun of myself, all right? And that's what it's going to be. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time.